BreakmanX, and welcome to the game show on May 20th, 2026. How's it going, everybody?
Great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just came from watching The Boys, the final episode. Well, we had to pause it because we didn't have enough time, but we'll help finish it after this.
Nice.
Sorry, jeez.
So,
well, very cool. How are you doing this evening, Jack?
I'm doing pretty good. It's the weekend before Memorial Day, so just trying to get a lot of stuff wrapped up at work, ready for the long weekend.
You ready to do some grilling? Because I'm going to be doing some grilling.
I hopefully am not going to be doing any grilling because I'm going to be at somebody else's house for most of the weekend. I'll be chilling in the pool.
There you go. Make someone else do the work. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. And Daria, how are you doing this evening besides having to miss the end of The Boys?
well, we can pause it so I get to go back. But anyway, I mean, not too bad. I don't think we have any plans right now for Memorial Day, but honestly, it's just gonna 3-day weekend. It's gonna be needed.
Nice.
Yes. No, I'm super excited. It's going to be fun to do the show this evening. I had to rebuild the scenes last minute very quickly after a change last minute. But I'm glad that we're here. Usually we get a fun little pre-show chat, and today we went in cold. There was no pre-show warm up. It was just diving right in. So yeah. which is fine. We've talked a few times before. So once or twice. But so welcome to the game show. We've been doing this since 2002, one of the first video game podcasts ever made. We ran for over a decade, took a long break, and came back in 2025 because we couldn't stay away. I'm BreakmanX, and every week I'm going to be joined by a mix of original crew and new blood to talk about games we're playing, the news shaping the industry, and whatever else we can't shut up about. If you're into gaming, pull up a chair. You're in the right place. And I should mention coming up here, our first show in June, we'll be having Blue Shell 3D on, who's the inventor of the Nintendo, which is one of the main things that made my Nintendo work again. It basically completely replaces that 72-pin connector with one that bypasses the lockout chip, so you never get, basically games work every time.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty cool. It basically fixes that functionality. But again, thanks for Fenris for the hookup. He thought it would be a cool idea with him coming on to talk about the NES Resurrection, to have someone that invented one of the main pieces of tech. So it's going to be fun. Also, shout out to Fenris, who's having a fun time out in Japan right now. If you want to see some cool Japan pics, follow his Insta. Because his Insta has lots of fun Japan things. He's been to Universal Japan, he's been to Nintendo and Kyoto, he's been all over the place. Lots of fun restaurants. I mean, the food just looks ridiculous. I want to eat everything. He's only posted a couple food things, but the things that he's posted, I've wanted to eat.
I saw there was something in the news last week about somebody threatening to bomb Nintendo's headquarters. That wasn't him, was it?
That was not Fenris. No, that was not Fenris. If anything, he would have defended it. So, but yes, really glad that we're able to do this tonight. Always one of my absolute favorite parts of the week. Let's go ahead and dive into the news.
Yeah, so a lot of news this week. In fact, some stuff coming hot off the press today. Sony announced a new State of Play event on June 2nd. So I think that's next Tuesday? And that's going to focus on Wolverine and some more games too. It's going to be, I think they said just over an hour long. So should be a real good deep dive into Wolverine and hopefully some more. So excited for that.
The word State of Play has always been such a play on words, but I really want to know what the state of play is now with everything that's going on. So it means a little bit more.
No kidding. I mean, Sony's definitely been pretty quiet. I mean, other than Wolverine, the only thing they really had was Saros, and that just came out, and some of the sales numbers on it have been a little underwhelming from what I understand. Still good, but I think there's, I will say, a Returnal drag kind of going on with that game. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, for sure. I'm excited. I always love those events. I'm excited for Wolverine, which helps, but otherwise, honestly, I just like the announcement events. They're always so much fun. So
Yeah.
it's just the kicker. It's good stuff.
Yeah, just give me another Insomniac Marvel game. Like, hopefully they have reverence for the character just like they do for Spider-Man, and this should be pretty awesome.
The only thing I wish is that it was Cal Dodds. I think that's his name, the voice actor from the original X-Men cartoon.
Yeah.
Because to me, he will always be Wolverine. But I mean, you can't have everything you want. So I'm super stoked to play it.
Yeah, likewise. Let's see. So moving on, there was a new D&D game that was in development from Giant Skull, one of the director for the Star Wars Jedi games. Actually left Respawn and went and formed this studio. Unfortunately, it just got canceled by Hasbro. So unfortunately, we will never see the light of day. I would be really interested to see what a D&D game with like who knows? Was it a pre-made party? Was it like a single player thing just in the world of D&D? Who knows? But we'll probably never really find out, unfortunately, now.
Yes, unfortunately. I mean, anything D&D would be cool. So especially from that crew. Mm-hmm. So that'd been cool.
Yep. Oh well. In happier news, Fortnite is back on the Apple App Store in most territories, not everywhere, but in most territories due to the ongoing legal battle between between Epic Games and Apple. Epic quote unquote won and was able to get their game reinstated by court order back onto the Apple App Store. So good for them. We'll see how things proceed. Obviously, the App Store and just Apple devices have changed dramatically.
So much
in the few years since Fortnite has not been on there. So I will be really interested to see how many people are still playing Fortnite and are okay playing Fortnite on a tablet or touchscreen device.
Yeah. And
B, where that brings does that actually raise their player count, or does it just kind of stagnate and this is just kind of a, oh god, we need to get people playing this game some more kind of move?
I mean, gaming on Mac has completely changed in general. There's ways to play most games on Mac now, similar, not quite as good as Linux, but similar to Linux in that you have that translation layer. Work just gave me literally a couple days ago an M5 Pro. Which and it's not the base model. I was actually really stoked what they gave me, but it has a lot of RAM in it, and I'm actually pretty impressed at how fast it is. It's significantly faster at everything than my old because my personal laptop is an M3 Pro, which isn't that old, and it's been great. So it's also one of the bigger ones. I think the 16 versus the 13, I think there's just better cooling because there's more space. But yeah, I'm excited to try it out. I don't know. I'm not a Fortnite person though, but I'll try out a different game.
Yeah, I probably won't play. If I get really bored in line somewhere and I've got decent internet signal, I might just try it out just to see how it runs. But I want to play that thing with the keyboard or with a mouse and keyboard or with a controller. I do not want to play that with a touchscreen.
Do you remember the little Palm Pilots back in the early 2000s and setting up NES games on that? That seemed like witchcraft to be able to play an NES game on one of those, and now you play Fortnite on your phone.
Yeah, hey, you can play Assassin's Creed on your phone if you really want to play.
You can play Control on your phone now.
Yeah,
that's crazy and great. You know what? The more people that can play Control, the better. How is the control of Control on the iPhone though?
So I actually haven't gotten it, but from what I've heard people saying about it, it's actually pretty good, honestly. I kind of want to get it to just see how it goes, but I do like the controller, so but I mean it looked pretty cool. I know there's some slight changes and things like that.
Probably no ray tracing.
Probably
Although
not.
you never know. The Apple Silicon is actually pretty amazing. It's pretty shocking.
I'm looking at the App Store page. It's only $4.99 for the Ultimate Edition on the App Store.
I didn't realize
Good
it was
Lord.
$4.99.
Yeah,
If you like to play-
like I'm gonna go buy Control on my iPhone just to be like, hey, Remedy, just keep doing this. Like,
Yeah.
I'll pay for an extra copy.
It's one of those games that you end up having on like every platform
Yeah,
and buying like 30 times. You know, there's other games like that too, but I'm
I'll
happy
play it
supporting
again.
Control.
I'll play it again, set up a save right before the ashtray maze, and just leave it there.
Yep.
And then play it really loudly in a public place.
Right. Everybody can use more control in their life.
No, I was actually every now and then I'll go back to listening there's a song in like one of the rooms that you can go into and control where there's a song called My Dark Disquiet playing.
Yes.
So I do like listening to them, like Poets of the Fall. I really do like listening to their stuff.
I will just tell you, when you are done with Alan Wake 2, they have an album of all the stuff they've done as what are they called in universe?
Gods of Asgard.
Yes, as Old Gods of Asgard. They have an entire album. It's like 10 tracks, I think, between Alan Wake, Control, and Alan Wake 2.
That's cool.
I highly recommend.
I have
Nice.
the song that plays during the ashtray maze also saved in a playlist, so because I like that one a lot.
Yeah. It's great.
Awesome. Well, very
Actually,
cool.
that gave me an idea for something to write down. So, but
I'm excited. I don't know. I just like more people playing Control. But give us some Nintendo news, Jack.
Yeah, so some other kind of off-the-wall Nintendo news. Nintendo has announced Picto Niko, which is interesting. It's an iOS game. I think it's also coming to Android too, but it looks very similar to WarioWare. It's a whole bunch of minigame collections. The app is free itself, but then I think they're selling 2 bundles that you can get that come with it, just bundles of minigames. Excuse me. One bundle is going to be $6 and one is going to be $8. And I don't really know the difference between the two yet, but the game's coming out later this month. And the whole premise is WarioWare style minigames, but they all use your phone or pictures on your phone. So like, you know, you can do the nose picking minigame with pictures of you or your friends and try to pick their noses. And I was just like, yep, I'm sold. And the cool thing is too, it's doesn't just look like WarioWare. It's also, they did announce it's being developed by Intelligent Systems, which is the WarioWare team. So
Nice.
very, very excited for that. I'll check it out. Hopefully there's some cool stuff in the free version, and then hopefully that entices me to get at least one of the 2 bundles.
Awesome. Very cool. And also, hopefully, it makes it easier to add more people to my friends list, because most of the people I've added to my friends list have been through iPhone games and then transfer over to the Switch. And also, BreakmanX added a bunch of random people he's played with, so I don't know 3/4 the people on my Switch playlist now.
Yeah.
Some random Ryan will come on. I don't know who it is.
It'll be interesting to see how much they tie it into the Apple arcade stuff, or not necessarily Apple Arcade, but their Apple Game Center stuff.
Game Center, yeah.
Or if they tie it more into the Nintendo Friends or the Nintendo Online ecosystem. So we'll see.
We shall see. What else you got for us?
All right, finally, in a little bit of downer news, PlayStation announced that they are changing PlayStation Plus pricing for new members or for anybody that's changing their subscription beginning today. So for the base model or the base subscription of PlayStation Plus, which I think is Essentials, that is going up $1 a month. So I think that bumps it up to $16 a month, if I'm correct. And then for the middle tier, which I think that's PlayStation Plus Extra. I could be wrong. I need to look it up. But the middle tier of PlayStation Plus, actually, I'm going to look it up right now because I don't want to be terribly wrong. Okay, yeah, Extra is the middle tier. That one's going up $2 a month. And then the final one, PlayStation Plus Premium, which is the one that gets you all the extra, goodies, extra games, PlayStation Classics, that kind of stuff. That one's going up $3 a month. Now, the good news is if you already have those tiers, you get grandfathered in, so your prices won't change. But if you're a new subscriber, those are the prices starting today. And if you decide you want to change your subscription, so that's whether it's going up a subscription level, down a subscription level, or anything in between, if you change your subscription, it will, you will have to pay at the new rate. So just a heads up for everybody. I can't say I'm terribly surprised, but it's a little disappointing considering, I think the value for PlayStation Plus, at least Essentials, is really good. Usually the 2 to 3 games a month you get from them are of decent quality.
Yeah.
But I cannot recommend in good conscience the extra or the premium layers.
Yeah, I'll be downgrading.
I just don't think there's anything really, like, the game trials are cool, but like game demos still exist. And I just don't think the back catalog they give you or the other free games they give you is anywhere close to the, it's not quite of the same caliber as Xbox Game Pass for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, I've really liked it. I've enjoyed it, but I probably will be downgrading. Honestly, Game Pass PC is kind of my jam right now. It's my favorite of all of them.
Especially Forza Horizon 6 is out now.
Yeah,
and guess what? After we're done here, I'm going to download that thing and I'm going to play it.
I've downloaded it and I'm ready to play it. Or maybe I'm ready to compile shaders. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see where it goes.
I tell you what, man, I getting on my high horse a little bit, like compiling shaders. I'll tell you, that's the one thing I really like about the oh my gosh, the Steam Deck, is that like they know exactly what the shaders will be because it's a standard model. So like there's no compiling shaders on
just a console.
Any game for that thing. Yeah, exactly.
That's
But when you do play, let's say like I play Tekken on my Steam Deck, it's just like done. It's Steam Deck approved or compatible, whatever, and so like it's ready to go. But if I want to play it on my PC, anytime there's an update or a significant update where they change any of that stuff, I've got to give it like 5-10 minutes before I actually start playing because it's got to compile shaders.
It's pretty frustrating. It's a little bit faster now. I found out about PBO on my motherboard. I didn't realize I'd never messed with it before, and it's actually made more of a change than I thought it would. On video exports, I'm getting about 15% better. And since it enables the boost quicker on your processor, little things are faster. Like DaVinci opened like significantly faster, which I was not expecting. And just in general, I got a lot of boost. So maybe that'll help with the compiling of the shaders. I don't know.
Here's open.
Well, I got a bit of bad news for people today. This isn't gaming, but it is, I think, tangentially related. But I've had a Plex server since maybe, oh my gosh, forever. Like, I don't know, how long has Plex been around? Probably early 2010s.
Have you had it since it was XBMC?
Yes. Oh, so it was that too? Oh my god.
Yeah,
so I've had it since
XBMC turned into Plex. Yeah.
So I've had it since like 2005, maybe, like forever. But so their lifetime pricing, early 2010s, was $74.99. And then there was a $99 price upgrade somewhere around there. That's around where I got a lifetime subscription to it for $100. Then they increased it to $140. Then they dropped it back to $120. And then they jumped it to $249 in 2025. And guess what it is jumping up to in July?
I just saw that.
$750.
Whoa.
So if you want a Plex lifetime subscription, which I use it all the time. I know Jellyfin's a thing, and I get that. But I've, like, my Plex server has everything on it, and I love it.
I need to go back like 10, 15 years and get a lifetime subscription.
Yeah, like for $100, it was an amazing deal for me. And then, so it'll go up from $250 to $750. And they've also taken a lot of features away in the last few years from the free tier. The paid tier has added a lot of stuff, but a lot of people got mad because the free tier has taken away like some significant functionality, which is why a lot of people moved to Jellyfin. So,
gotcha.
There's apparently some big lawsuit I read. I think that's why they're increasing the price. I don't know. Or just they want.
Yeah, I could see the former for sure. I do know it's interesting, like some projects like that. So like there's one that I'm kind of not affiliated with, but I'm a customer of and subscriber of, and they had lifetime pricing, and that's the oh my gosh, why can't I think of it? The front end I use for my arcade cabinet. Like that thing.
Oh, is that
awesome.
Launchbox?
No, actually yes, it is Launchbox. Yeah, $30 for a lifetime subscription. Like that's
awesome.
Pretty easy slam dunk for me.
And you get to support them.
Yeah,
I love it. That's great, and it's awesome. It looked really cool.
Yeah, and they continue to have regular updates. So like,
yeah,
are all of them relevant to me? No, not really. But it's good to know that somebody's like just going through. They did like a back end database change a few months ago, and so there's good stuff in there. Speaking
of updates, the RetroTink 5X, which is the one I sold to Daria, the one I upgraded to the 4K, just got a major update. It's been out for 5 years, and Mike Chi just released a major free update that updates the CRT shaders to be like significantly better, like much closer to the RetroTink 4K, and it also updates the resolution. So most likely you can have 4K on it too.
That's really cool.
Oh wow.
It depends on your TV, because it kind of hacks the resolution a bit. And if your TV doesn't accept the resolution, you wouldn't be able to use it probably, or it'd add a little bit of lag. But if your TV will accept that weird resolution, which apparently a lot of them can, it's pretty cool that he's still updating that thing. So, alrighty. So, some cool news. Let's get into Mortal Kombat, shall we? Mortal Kombat 2. So we probably shouldn't do any spoilers.
Yeah.
Which is hard, because there's a lot of them. Wait, no, there's none. But no, I saw it today, and I mean, I really liked it. Like, it was super fun. In terms of video game movies, I don't know if I've seen a video game movie that like adhered so closely to the source material. Like some of those locations and moves and story elements, even like so much of that stuff was so close to the game, and there were so many references. Like if you were a Mortal Kombat fan, like, I mean, I was like going nuts with the references, you know, and Ed, well, he's in the trailer. You can say that. Ed Boon's in the trailer. He's in the trailer.
Ed Boon's in the movie. He's great.
Yeah, it's great. And they even call him Ed, which is awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love that he was in the movie, and the fight scenes are awesome. Like really super well done. Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I don't know. I might change my mind on this. I think the first movie was a better movie, but I think the second movie is a much better Mortal Kombat movie. Like in terms of someone that like loves Mortal Kombat, it's hard for me to imagine having a better few hours than Mortal Kombat 2 so far.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like when you say the first one, you mean the 2021 Mortal Kombat of the current series?
With Cole Young.
Yeah, with Cole Young. I gotta say, man, I got to see it this past weekend too, and I think I was talking with Max from our Discord about it the other day, and I think one of my favorite things about it is it just kind of goes for it. Like it's just like, all right, here's Johnny Cage, here's who he was, and now, oh, by the way, it's Mortal Kombat. Let's go, and it's just fight. How do we get from one fight to the next one? Let's just keep things moving along. And let's just go. And they bring back some characters, which I think does the movie a great service. I think bringing certain characters back was awesome. Introducing some of the new characters and some of the new MacGuffins sets up some things they're going to do down the road if they do get to make a sequel, which I think they already announced they're doing MK3. So that's fun. Yeah.
And it's making enough money that even if they hadn't announced it is inevitable.
And I won't say that like the deaths, like the fatalities they have in the movie are pretty great. The fight scenes are pretty great. again, I think one of my favorite things is they understood what people didn't like about the 2021 movie.
Yeah.
And they go out of their way just to just be like, yeah, this is like, we're going to pretend this didn't even happen. They do a really good job of just kind of literally like erasing the character from the franchise.
Well, I mean, the first one was more like less so than a lot of them, but a lot like some of the video game movies of the past, where I know some studio executive was like, you need to have a character that's entering the world and the audience can like experience the world as they discover it. And, you know, so you did like, that's where all that came from, I think. And,
but I guarantee you, yeah.
But it had like the Sub-Zero stuff. I mean, there was a lot of really cool stuff in there. But like it did well enough that this movie, they got the green light to literally just go forward. And I think it's probably the best video game movie.
I mean, from just like being unabashedly a video game movie, absolutely, I think so. Like, I mean, Carl Urban is just about perfect as Johnny Cage. Like,
he was pretty perfect. Just
he
Johnny
was
Cage.
Pretty great, and just some of the goofs they have with him.
I
and
laughed.
Baraka.
We were laughing so hard in the movie, and BreakmanX, her favorite character was Katana. She always used to play as Katana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so pretty cool that.
Yeah, and I
can't
will
say anything
like,
more, but she's in it. She's in the trailer.
Yeah. They do a really good job of making her kind of the focal point of the movie. Like Johnny's in all the trailers and everything like that, but Katana has a great arc that she goes through in the movie.
I just wish they would call him Noob Saibot instead of Bihan.
But you have to imagine that's a really far bridge to cross. Like,
it is.
Like, why are they calling him that? And it's like everybody in the theater knows exactly who it is.
I'm kind of joking. But
yeah,
more because I used to play as Noob Saibot, and I just would like to Noob Saibot wins.
Yeah. I think,
and Shao Kahn is freaking scary.
Yeah, Shao Kahn's great.
Scary, like he's exactly what you want him to be, like terrifying. I
think between Quan Chi and Shang Tsung, like you can tell, like they're kind of up to stuff, and like I said, I really loved just. Like I said, I was really glad they brought some of the characters back from one, because like the interplay
was really funny.
Yeah, the interplay between him and Johnny Cage is just fantastic. And Quan Chi is great.
That was so funny.
I will say, like, if all things had been equal, it would have been really awesome just to get Sal DeVita just to play Quan Chi, because really, like, who kind of cares who's playing Quan Chi? Like, you just put the makeup on him and hey, it's Quan Chi. And I don't know, just that's me personal. Just that's my Quan Chi. Sal DeVita in the makeup.
It's true, but he did look pretty cool. I mean, that's another.
No, don't get me wrong. Like,
it's nice that it's nice that the characters don't like shy away from it. Like, it's similar to we've got a couple of writings I gotta but it's similar to like the Marvel movies in that and different from like the X-Men movies, where they like, you know, change the costumes and stuff to make them look more general and generic, whereas most of the Marvel costumes are fairly close to what they were, or at least heavily inspired by. It's just nice to see, you know, the characters look like themselves, they act like themselves. And even some of the cheesier things are there.
Yep.
And so I love it. And that it's doing well. You know, if this had been the first one, I don't know how the general public would have gone along with it. The first one I think was probably necessary, but I love it. I can't wait I hope this series goes like forever.
Yeah.
So, got a couple
just give me an MK3 where they either introduce Shinnok or they have Shao Kahn come to Earth. And that's and not like in a Mortal Kombat Armageddon sense, like actually like how it happens in MK3.
I think those days are behind us.
You never know.
I can still remember watching. I mean, we talked about it, I know, but I can still remember being in my basement, renting that movie and putting it on, and literally being like, what is this? And at that age in particular, and in my Mortal Kombat love of that time, it was pretty hard to make a Mortal Kombat movie that I wouldn't have liked.
Yeah.
So that's how.
Oh, but they did it.
They did it. They did it. I tried to watch it a few years ago because I didn't remember it. Well, I knew it was bad, but I didn't remember it like at all, and I only got through like the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. We've got a couple write-ins here. So Maxis Prime says, nice Pink Floyd shirt. Oh yeah, I am wearing my Dark Side shirt today. Thank you. This shirt I bought in 2004. It's very old. And then Addy Sensei says hello. And he wants to know why unlocking means back then. The title. We're gonna get to that soon. I mean, it's really just to have an interesting title, but we'll talk about it here when we get into unlocks. Yes. So World have you seen it, Daria? The movie?
Nope, not yet. I've seen the first one, but I haven't seen the one that just came out.
You saw the first one with us, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was so funny. I was, and we'll move on, I promise. But I loved the movie, and I was really surprised with how much I liked MK1 because I was fully expecting to not really love it. And
I remember you commenting about that a lot after you watched it.
Yeah, I was surprised how much I liked it, and then also BreakmanX loved it, and we ended up showing it to people like my mother-in-law came to visit, and that was the movie we watched, and she loved it.
Wow.
She like totally loved it, which was great.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
I think the one last thing I really want to say, and I need to go back and watch the 2021 version just to kind of see what kind of similarities there are. But I think my favorite thing, so I got to go see it in IMAX.
Nice.
When they set up the fight scenes, like they literally do just kind of do the 2D like stage, like the framing where you have both characters on each side.
David did the dolly out.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
And what was really cool was not just that, but in the IMAX, the framing actually switched down to like letterbox right during the fight scene. As I was like, okay, here we go. And like, I don't know how many people in the theater noticed it, but like I got pretty amped just seeing it. Kind of just
the people like us noticed it.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, here we go. Like it's time. And so it was kind of, they didn't do it for all of them, but I think they do it for a fair number of them. And like I said, it was one of those things where after I saw it, I was just like, I should really go back and watch the first one to see if they did it there too, or if this was just something they wanted to do it on this one. I
don't think that they did.
Okay. Anyway, it's a good excuse to go back and watch the first one.
Yes. It's still good. We watched it before we went to watch this one. So
nice.
All right. Yeah. So Mortal Kombat 2 gives, I think, thumbs up from Jack and I. 2 thumbs for me, and I think from you too, right? 2 thumbs?
There it is.
2 thumbs?
I'd say like, it's very close to 2 thumbs. Like I would definitely go see it again. I will buy it when it comes home to streaming. The
sound is really great too.
Yes. And of course they played the Mortal Kombat techno track during the end credits. As it's like, yep. And they got Steve Ritchie to do all the character announcements at the end. I was like, all right, yep.
Yeah, it sounded exactly like the game. So at first I was like, oh, they took it from the game, and then I heard Young. I'm like, oh, okay, so they got him back.
Yeah, but at least they got Steve Ritchie in there. I was just like, all right,
yeah,
at least they got him.
Yeah, no, very cool. I think that series is in good hands, and I think letting Ed Boon be a huge part of it.
Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about unlockables this evening, and they're not all going to be old. Well, most of mine are, but Jack will bring us into the modern era, and Daria as well. Unlockables back in the day, they were huge. Now it's usually in the way of some extra content, maybe not as huge, but also I could be proven wrong here shortly as we go through them. But I wanted to start out with one that I wanted to say the other day, but Jack took it first. But the Minus World in Super Mario Brothers, which is a glitch, as we talked about, but it's also kind of an unlockable because once you do the glitch, you go into that special stage. So you've unlocked the special stage. And back in those days,
and you can't get out of it.
You can't get out of it either. Yeah. So it's like an unlockable that can't be locked again until you reset the game. But that was just such a cool thing. My neighbor, I never forget, he was like, yeah, you can go to the Minus World. It sounded like such a made up thing too. Like, oh, the Minus World? Okay. You know, and so I didn't think it was real. And then seeing it and going through the wall and then, yeah. So very cool.
Yeah,
all right, Jack, what's your first? Oh,
no, I was just gonna say I always remember the first time I found it, and like I was perplexed, and also was like, oh, it's another warp zone. Oh wait, no, this isn't. This is a bad warp zone.
Wait, did you find it by accident?
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I was like 4, and one of the kids I was playing it with, he had an older brother that was 8, and like we were just trying to get to the warp zone because we had done it a whole bunch. He missed the jump. So we tried to see if he could get up there the other way. And when he did, he was like, oh no, what happened?
That's amazing. I've never heard of it. I mean, I'm sure people have done it, but I've never heard of anybody finding it accidentally. That's so cool. That makes that, I'm glad that you took it now.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You deserve it. All right, go ahead and get your first one in, Jack.
Yeah, so my first one, I will say a lot of these games do this, but I think this is one that, due to the type of game it was, it made things really interesting. Crypt of the NecroDancer, when that came out, after you beat the game, you make it through all 4 stages, or four worlds, and you beat the NecroDancer, and then all of a sudden you get to unlock new characters. And they change up like the cadence of the game. They change up how you play the game, and it introduces some cool little wrinkles in the game, especially the final character you unlock, where basically it just makes it so you have to make a perfect run, and it really increases the tension in the game, but it also gives you a completely different play style to kind of have fun with and try things out and really experiment with, and that makes it one of my favorite like post-game unlockables or late game unlockables in a game, because once you've got that extra character, you don't want to really, like, you definitely want to see if you can do it, and it adds a lot more challenge to the game you've already kind of mastered by that point if you've gotten there.
Very cool. I need to play that game more.
You should. It's
really one of the cooler. Good. It's one of the cooler music games, for sure. Recent. All right, Daria, what's your first one?
So my first one is actually from Horizon's DLC for Forbidden West, Burning Shores. There is a toy chest, or no, there's a toy bow that you can find in a chest, like by using one of the machines that you can fly on to one of the skyscrapers. And like this one I actually found organically.
Oh, cool.
And like I found the toy bow, and then there's an island at another point on the map, and there's these little targets. And so I was like, well, I started shooting them. And then they made noise, and I was like, what music? What music would I be playing with that? And I was like, they kind of sound like the notes in Aloy's theme, because I listened to the soundtrack over and over and over, and I took me a little bit to figure out which notes were which, but yeah, the little toy boat, like the little their suction cups, they do stick to the targets. But and they do 1 point of damage if you actually try to use them. But it once you actually play the theme, her actual theme plays, like the music plays, and then the chest unlocks that you wouldn't be able to unlock normally. And it's also like it itself is a reference to The Last of Us Part 2, where there's a use of a toy bow in that game for a mini game. But that was honestly the first thing that, like, it's not like a significant kind of like unlockable. I mean, the toy bow is really fun. Just like, it's just fun. But I think the puzzle aspect of it is what was really cool.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
I love when they get creative with things like that. It's a lot of fun.
It's very cool. You know the developers having fun with it too.
Yeah.
Max says, I remember you unlocked the ability to adjust enemy parameters in GoldenEye if you beat it well enough and fast enough on 00 agent difficulty and the cheats.
That's a really good one. Like 00 agent mode. Like, honestly, I think I spent more time playing GoldenEye in 00 mode just to see if I could get all the unlocks, like getting big head mode, getting like all the silly, just different little toggles you could have on after you beat some of those levels.
That's the one that's sort of hidden in our thumbnail. It's the blurry one in back is big head mode GoldenEye from that. So some people might see it because it's Natasha back there. So all right, so I'll go on to my next one here. This is fun. I like these. So I've been playing a lot of NES lately, obviously, because my NES came back, which Fenris, you did such an amazing job with it. It's like so perfect and awesome. I found out something interesting too. There's apparently, and they're very slight, like there's not, like people wouldn't probably actually notice any difference, but it's more of a fun thing. There's very slight differences between NESs. Has something to do with the starting point of one of the values or something that is like slightly different between them, and it can cause like very, very, very super slight differences in things that are randomly generated. So again, not something that's probably significant enough for anyone to notice, but being my childhood NES, it's fun that I'm getting like the exact same experience that I got when I was 5 years old. And with that, second quest, Zelda. So this, I mean, talk about a big thing, right? You have The Legend of Zelda, which at the time was an incredibly groundbreaking game that was seemed gigantic, right? And when you compare it with what else was around in 1986, you know, it was like ridiculously amazing and so different from everything. I mean, compare it to Adventure, which was, you know, a few years before, or the other NES games that were out at the time. Like The Legend of Zelda is just ridiculous. You beat it, and then there's a second quest. Like everything's rearranged, and you can beat it's a lot harder too. And you can beat the game again. And having like that, I mean, that just seemed like otherworldly for a game to be that big. And then, you know, you could just enter your name as Zelda and start at the second quest too.
Yeah,
if you wanted.
And I think one of the really cool things about it is you spend so much time just trying to figure out where everything is. Like you spend hours just trying to memorize where stuff is in the main game, and then you go to the second quest and it's like, oh, nothing is where I thought it was. Everything, you know, new is old again, or vice versa. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. I mean, that's again when I gave Breath of the Wild my second try and fell in love with it. The thing that really got me was when I played The Legend of Zelda for the first time originally. Like you said, you didn't know where anything was, but it was really fun to explore. Like it was, you just at that, I mean, you know, it was so simple, but at that period in time, you really felt like you didn't know what was around the next corner.
Yeah. And
you get that exact same thing with Breath of the Wild.
Yes, you do.
It's very like, who knows what it is? It's very exploratory. So they did, I think, go back to that well. And if they just had the weapons not breakable, if they didn't have the weapons breakable, it would be up there as maybe one of my favorite Zelda games. And I still really love it, but I just hate that your weapons break so easy. Even if they had them break like a lot less, but it's so frequent.
It takes you out of the game so quickly when that happens. It is annoying.
It's super annoying. It's super annoying.
Yeah.
But it's not annoying. Jack's next pick.
Yeah, so surprise, surprise, I'm going to talk about Resident Evil 4 here. So
That's okay.
New game plus. Like, yes, I know lots of single player games do a new game plus where you get to take all of your weapons, all your experience, everything like that from the game when you beat it and carry it over to a new game plus. So you get to start from the beginning and just be overpowered as all get out.
I love that.
So like there is something about that game, and I don't know, like the first playthrough is always a lot of fun. Like if I start a new playthrough, the first playthrough is always great. But there's something about that second playthrough when you show up in the village and you've just already got like the riot shotgun, and you can just literally just use that thing the entire time, or you can get the MP5 out and just kind of mow down the entire village. Like there's something in just like that power fantasy dynamic. Like the first time through, yeah, you're just trying to survive long enough for the church bell to ring. The second time through, when you've got everything, it is like, all right, like just come at me, bro. Let's see how everybody does. And it's fun turning that little power dynamic on its head that second time through, and it kind of stays.
For sure,
it stays that same way. You're definitely overpowered for, I'd say, at least 2/3 of the game before things kind of start to balance back out. But even still, if you spent the time there, usually you've got enough coins or enough gold pesetas to unlock like infinite ammo weapons towards the end of the game too.
Yeah. No, it's very cool. I love the new game plus as well. Again, connected. I posted it in the staff, but I haven't posted anywhere else. It's gonna be part of my video. But this is relevant to new game plus. But the original NES games, the way they saved, and for several generations, was they had a battery in them, so the game basically never turned off. It supplied small bits of power to it, right? And so those games are now 30, 40 years old. Jeez Louise. 30, nearly 40. Right. Oh my God. But anyway,
we're old.
So yeah, so most of them I'm replacing the batteries in. I'm going to replace the batteries in all of them. And I put in Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, which I've had forever.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, my save was still on there. And it says Matt N, which is yeah, right. It says Matt N, which is hilarious. Like another Matt was going to come into my house and play it, and like to make sure I knew which Matt it was. But anyway, diving into that new game plus, because you can, it starts over and you have all the like up thrust and everything and the power up. Was pretty crazy. Fenris says it's a miracle that it exists, and I actually ordered a save dump thing to dump the save. Hopefully the battery lasts a few more days so I can actually dump it. But it's just crazy plugging that thing in, and that battery's been going for almost 40 years. 40 years. It has been going for 40 years. Oh my God. 38. Yeah. Jeez. All right, Daria, what's your next one?
So, it's kind of another like Horizon. They are kind of more like Easter eggs, but there's little references around the game to different things. Like you can find the sword in the stone. And there's like, she usually gives like a little voice line, like bringing attention to it. The Triforce symbol is in some of the cauldrons.
Yeah, I remember that. Tell me that.
Yeah. And she makes a line like, it's like something that's said to Zelda, or no, I can't remember exactly what it was, but that one. There's actually little God of War totems that you can collect. There's 3 of them.
That's cool. I love when they reference other series like that.
And then I think that there's a Ghost of Tsushima reference in there as well. And there's actually these. I know these aren't like really unlockable things. These 2 next ones, but there are 2 memorials in there. There's I think the first memorial that I actually came upon was one for I think one of the developers who worked on the game who passed. I think that's if I'm remembering that correctly.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, she reads a note that's just like on this like ledge overlooking the water, and it's lit by candles and everything, and yeah, it's an in memoriam thing. Huh. And after Lance Reddick passed away, they added his actual name in the game, like as a little memorial for him, and you can go and visit that as well.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. We've come a long way from like no credits in video games to honoring developers. I love it.
Yeah.
He plays Silence in the Horizon games, and I know that there's an old train car where you could find the Ukraine flag. They did an update a while back and added that. There's a lot of little ones. But those are the ones that come to mind first.
Unlocks your heart.
I think that once you collect all the totems, they do unlock something, but I can't remember what that is right now. But
well,
gotcha.
Very cool. All right, well, I'm gonna go to my next one, and it harkens back to Mortal Kombat, which is exciting. But Reptile was such a cool unlockable. I can't remember if you could do it in the Super Nintendo version or not, but I know you could do it in the arcade.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it in all three, or at least the two main home versions: the Super Nintendo and the Genesis and the Sega CD versions. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I know you get a double flawless victory on the pit stage without blocking, and you have to there's like a shadow thing that flies across the moon, right?
Yeah, it's either a witch or Santa, or I think there's a third one, but yeah, you have to see one of those shadows over the moon when it happens.
Yes. And then you get the nice palette swap with Reptile. But how cool was that? I mean, that was just so cool. And I remember people just talking about it for a while. And then I finally saw it once, and really cool. And then it led to, Reptile being in the Mortal Kombat movie, which
and MK2, and then it just kind of the series penchant for secrets and unlockables and things like that just kind of ballooned from there. Reptile was the original, but then it just kind of exploded after that.
Wasn't Smoke the next one?
Yeah. Well, Ermac is technically also the other one in Mortal Kombat 1.
That's right.
Even though it's unofficial. But 2...
But it has the color,
Smoke.
Right?
Yeah, 2 is definitely Smoke.
Ermac. I love the way that he says Ermac too. Ermac. Like adds syllables to it. Yeah, but that was a cool one. That was cool. And then it actually became like a real thing. You could play as him normally in Mortal Kombat 2, which I remember when we found that out. It's like, oh, you could play as Reptile in Mortal Kombat 2. That's so cool. That was one of the things in the the 2021 movie. I wanted to see Reptile in the costume. I know in the games they don't always have him, but I wanted to see him in the ninja costume. That's just me.
Yeah. Yep.
I still liked him in there, though. All right, Jack.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. What's your next one?
I'm gonna stick with RE4 while I'm thinking about it.
It's a great game.
RE4 again. I can't say enough about it. One of the other cool things about beating that game is that they unlocked the Separate Ways campaign, which real short and sweet, but it kind of shows you what Ada Wong was doing while Leon's kind of doing his thing, and kind of where her story leads her, how she interacts with Wesker and the rest of the post umbrella. And so it's interesting, and it gives you kind of a little different flavor. She's definitely not Leon, but it's a cool little side story that's not nearly as long as the main game, but keeps you playing for a little while longer. And I always enjoyed that. It kind of gives you just a different perspective on what's going on, and kind of shows you, hey, what were other characters doing while Leon was doing this?
Yes. Very cool. And the game was so amazing, like even without that, then to add that cherry on top.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like not just Resident Evil 4, but any game where they give you like additional gameplay post content or post finish. I don't know how to say this, but like,
sorry.
Yeah, just additional game content in the main game without having it be DLC or anything like that. Like another one that comes to mind is like Nier Automata. Like there's like multiple different ways you have to play through that game to get the real ending.
Ghouls and ghosts.
Yeah, but that's kind of like just another playthrough.
No, I know it's just another playthrough. But I know what you're saying, where it's actually like a different thing, like Zelda 1.
Yeah,
very cool. And I'm you can talk about Resident Evil 4 all you want because it's a great game. All right, Daria, what's your next one?
So my next one is actually going to Control. The unique mods that you can unlock by doing certain like puzzles or like trying to think, the puzzles or like jobs. What's cool about one of them, the Aerobics mod, you get 50 health on using the evade using evade, and you get that from the shifted passage clock puzzle, and that's where like the reversed speech in the old Gods of Asgard song comes into play. It's playing on the little radio outside of the room that you go into, and you have to figure out what that says to solve the puzzle. And so I thought that one was really cool, and I have that mod like continuously, like I never take that one out. And then I guess I won't list all of them, but my two favorite ones that I always use, because I typically use grip and pierce all the time, is custodial readiness for pierce, which like makes the shot time like 0. The shot charge time 0, which is super nice. But you get that by doing all of Auti's jobs that he gives you.
Yep.
So I really like that one. And then the one for grip is called Eternal Fire. And essentially like ammo refund chance on hit plus 100%. So like if you're accurate with with your shooting, like you can keep shooting for a while. So I do that one a lot. I use that one all the time, but you have to dispose of 6 different like TVs around the maintenance sector into the furnace. And they have it's like a little burning, like on the TVs it's like a little flame. Yep. But and then I have like all the other like special mods, but I like those a lot because like it does enhance like your gameplay in different ways. And I have all the most of them you get in the expansion in the DLC. I think Eternal Fire is the only one you can get in the main game.
Interesting.
Very cool.
Is that? Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, because I do remember doing the chuck the TVs into the, what is it? Yeah, you just gotta chuck them into the living furnace basically. Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, it's so good.
And I think the other ones are in the AWE expansion.
Yeah. Which is again, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to go on too long of a tangent, but I really like the AWE expansion. But the last boss is super difficult. It took me like 3 days to beat him.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry.
Difficulties.
No, I mean, I kind of like it because it's something you also find in the expansion. Is like, I know it's technically my next one, but the little arcade game that you can play.
Yeah.
Shroom, and then you unlock Shroom 2, and like, yeah.
It's good stuff.
Just, I think you get like mods, weapon mods for completing those.
Yep.
But, and I know like I do like the costume unlocks that you can do for her in Control, like, because they're usually like rewards for puzzles, and I like that kind of unlockable thing.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
For sure.
I don't know. Sometimes, and we may get into it later, but sometimes just like costume unlockables are just like, whatever. But sometimes they can be pretty cool. Sometimes, like, you know, if it drastically changes context or is just a little fun Easter egg, like, yeah, it's fun to have those.
I like it when it brings back classic costumes, like the Mortal Kombat ones when you can play as like the original costumes and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Or Resident Evil, where this is like, hey, guess what? Here's Leon in his RE2 gear, as he always is.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love it because it becomes iconic, you know. And then to see it again is very neat. All right, so I'm going on to my next one here. So in Street Fighter 2 Turbo, there was a certain hidden boss that would interrupt M. Bison's ending if you played well enough. Akuma. And again, this was so cool. I remember seeing him in the magazines before I saw any, like, even, you know, really. And he just looked so cool. Like, the character designs for all of Street Fighter 2 throughout were just so amazing. I mean, they were all so cool. And Akuma just was such a cool character to play. You had to do a code to play him, which was a pretty in-depth code, if I remember right. It was like quite a code to do. And then later in other games you could just play as him. But Akuma was cool.
Akuma is very intimidating the first time you see him. Like it is. I won't say shocking, but it's definitely a shock when you have to try to fight him for the first time. Yeah. When he comes in.
Yeah, he looks scary. He's not as scary as Shao Kahn, but he looks scary.
Yep.
So, all right, Jack, what's your next one?
So my next one, I'm going to go back a little further. Tekken 2, and granted, I know most of the Tekken games have this, but Tekken 2 is the first one where I think they really, especially in the arcade version, really embraced this. But every time you would beat the game with the character, you would unlock their mini boss. So, like, you know, with Tekken 2, didn't matter who you picked for your character. On the main roster, their penultimate fight before they fought Kazuya Devil was their mini boss. So, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. So, like, Paul would fight Kuma, or Kazuya would fight Heihachi, and just like that, or I guess or Jun would fight. I think Jun would fight Kazuya also, or like Nina would fight Michelle, and so. When you beat the game with that character, you would unlock their mini boss, and like in a lot of cases, they were almost like palette swap characters. You know, with the exception of like Kuma or a few others. There were some that really got pretty interesting and really expanded upon the fight styles. So like Bruce, who really plays a lot like Brian Fury does now, but he was kind of like a proto Brian Fury. There was something about Tekken 2, just knowing that every time you beat that game, even in the arcade, you'd get somebody new that you had for the rest, like until that thing was shut off and like factory reset. You had those characters, and that they weren't just merely palette swaps in some cases. Yeah, you actually got some characters that added some depth to the game. Yeah, for sure. That was the first Tekken game I played. Really? I didn't get Tekken 1 because this is hilarious. But the dude at Software Etc. told me that Battle Arena of Toshinden was so much better that I just never played it. And then Tekken 2 was the first one that I played. I mean, versus Tekken 1, I'd say, Battle Arena Toshinden's probably the better game. Yeah. But then I haven't played Tekken 1 much, though. I don't know what to compare it to be honest. It's rough. It's rough. Like, King is probably the only one that still plays like King from like Tekken 1 even. But like it's just much more rigid. It feels a lot more like Virtua Fighter than it does what you would think of Tekken now. But Tekken 2 is really where they figured out, hey, we can be a little more fluid with a lot of the things we're doing, and they started incorporating like some actual like fighting styles and things like that.
Yeah, and then Tekken 3 is like was the
Tekken
one that
3 is where
really,
it all, yeah, that's where it really changed.
Really got me. That's awesome. I love that. That brings back some memories. I haven't thought about Tekken 2 in a little bit. Got a couple write-ins here. Max says there's a Secret Fighter Mortal Kombat 1, the most recent game, not the original one. Ghost of Tsushima has certain cosmetics that when you put together makes you look like an ancestor Sly Cooper. They put outfits that reference Bloodborne and God of War. And then 8-Bit Moss Playa says Red Ring and Blue Ring in Zelda. Oh yeah, you get a different costume way back in the NES days. Yeah, that white costume. I was bummed when I got that though, because I thought Link looked so much better in green than white. Yeah. But I mean, it's cool that you get a different costume though, and you get the hit point, the damage taken away and everything. But if you would like it unlockable, you should like and subscribe to this channel right now. If you haven't already, if you're liking what you're seeing, that would be great. You would unlock a smile.
Expert segue.
They're fun. All right, Daria.
I kind of went. I kind of grouped in all my control ones.
You didn't do all of them though, did you? Oh, you did do all of them. Okay.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of other.
Talk more about Shum. I can't say that word.
Shum.
Shum.
That's what I say it.
Shum.
I'm trying to. Honestly, the costume that you get from playing that is probably one of my favorite costumes that I wear like when I go back to play it.
Yeah.
But it's super hard to get. But I also like the challenge of it though. And I think I can't remember the exact game modes, but there's a couple. I think there's 2 modes, and then there's like the harder version of those. I can't remember for sure, but yeah, I think when you beat all of them, you get the outfit. And then I'm trying to think of what else.
We can come back.
I would say, well, I think I was thinking of it's not really that unlockable, but when they did that update, they gave everybody all of the costumes, like the astral projection suit or the astral suit, the pre-order bonus outfits. So everybody actually got to. There's a recent update or release that they did for each of the different platforms, but it enabled everybody to get all of the costumes that were previously behind those, either a PlayStation exclusive or what.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Very cool.
That's cool.
I've one time was searching for astral projection, not like astral projection, but it was something with a game. I can't remember what it was, but it led me to the astral projection Reddit. And let me just tell you, that sounds like a lot of fun. Like, those people are flying all over the place, visiting the Great Pyramids, in different time periods. It's man,
I can only imagine.
I know. God, what was I looking for? It was not that. But it was it's pretty interesting reads. If you got a few minutes, you want to read some fantastical, fan fiction, I guess. I don't know. Just check it out sometime. Yeah, that's pretty. There's some Reddits out there, I tell you that. So I don't know. I'm gonna do my number 5 later, because I was thinking about, the Smash Brothers unlocks are really cool.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't think of that when I was initially making the list. but both in the original game and then really with Melee, you know. Like I remember unlocking all of those things, everything on Melee that Christmas break after Melee came out, and Shadow and I did it because he was visiting, and I still have the memory card so I can look at the date. It still says the date when everything was unlocked. But getting like you know all like Young Link, I was gonna say Toon Link, that wasn't until later. Young Link. And just all the and Roy and Marth. I didn't even know who Roy and Marth were at the time. And
I mean, kudos to Super Smash Bros. Melee for backdooring the Fire Emblem franchise back to life in America.
Yes, yeah. But Smash Bros. I mean, that was just such a cool thing and done so well. Like Smash Brothers is really the perfection of, you know, bringing in all the branded folks. And making them fight together, like the Mario Kart of fighting, you know, basically, and also Melee. You know, don't downplay how great it plays. I mean, it's still like a tournament game. Like it's super well designed. And then of course with the later ones where you get my friend Sephiroth and Cloud, like it's just ridiculous. You've got Mario, Luigi, Link, and Sephiroth, and wait, is that the one with the Castlevania stuff? Yes. Okay, so it's got like all the and Little Mac, you know, it's literally like everything. That makes me want to go play it, and I bet it plays way better on the Switch too.
Yeah, it does. I've played a little bit with my son. Like it's still fast, but it definitely plays a little bit better.
Awesome.
I'll say, like, I think there is like Melee certainly is. I think that sweet spot for me. Not necessarily because I think it's a better game, but just the unlockables were a little more
levels
on point. Yeah,
the levels, like the Mario 2 level.
Yeah,
that was so cool. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just came to my head.
You're good. No, like the unlockables between the characters, the levels. There's just a lot there, and I think there was something about both Brawl and Ultimate. For whatever reason, I think I don't know if it was too many unlockables or just the fact that like you had to do, you don't have to do certain things, like they all just unlock after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But like, man, it's just, it felt like there was just too much to unlock in Brawl and Ultimate.
Yeah, no, I feel that. It becomes overwhelming because, you know, and people, their mileage may vary, but in Brawl, like you said, or not Brawl, Melee especially, it really felt balanced as you were going through it. Like it wouldn't take forever because you can't really play the game completely until you have all the characters and all the levels and everything to do with it. And you know, you can even add like in all the Pokemon. And I did like later on when they have the like not Pokemon but the like tangential Nintendo characters from the other games. That was a really cool addition too. And Max just mentioned one of my favorite. I got Dead Rising because of the unlockable Mega Man Blaster. I'm glad I did.
It was pretty cool. They had the Mega Buster in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the whole reason I got that game when I saw that you could do that. And then it was it was definitely a game I should have gotten anyway. But that was a great one. And then Inubase says unlocking pots on Jet Set Radio was cool. That's a game I need to play again.
Yeah.
Why can't we pause time and just play games for like ever?
I don't know, man. Don't know.
It's not fair. Where's that Mortal Kombat character?
Chronica.
Oh yeah, that's right. She does exist. Forgot.
Yeah.
Well, there's one for everyone. But all right, Jack, what's your next one?
So my next one, I'm going to go a little bit out of order here. So my next one is Red Dead Redemption. I don't know how many people have completed Red Dead Redemption. I'm going to go a little spoiler territory here. If you have not beaten Red Dead Redemption,
it's been out for long enough, I think.
It's over 10 years old, so I don't think there's too much here. But at the end of Red Dead Redemption, you actually your main character John Marsden, he dies. And you play basically as his son, and you get to go take revenge. After the credits roll, you get to go find the man that killed your dad, and you get to gun him down. But the cool thing with that too is it's just kind of free roam, so you can go do whatever. All the side missions you didn't complete are still out there in the world. You can still find them, like all the strangers and stuff. And you get different dialogue playing as his son, just kind of going around and just exploring the world just like his dad did. And it's pretty satisfying when you do find the man that killed your father and you get to exact revenge. It's an interesting and really cool kind of post-game, like unlockable, that entire map is just there at your disposal at that point. And there's even some little story bit right at the end. And not only that, but I'll take it a step further too. Red Dead Redemption 2 has something similar, but on a much grander scale, and it leads into Red Dead Redemption, and it really sets it up really well. Both games do a wonderful job with that kind of storytelling, and the fact that it's all unlockable after the game finishes. And is it the main part of the game? Sure, but you have to get to that point to unlock the rest of it. And so I just kind of have that on my unlockable list because it is such an interesting twist on where that story goes and how it finishes up, and like it considers all of it like post game, like post credits game, not just part of the main story.
Yes, forget BreakmanX has beaten the second one like 1,000 times. So yeah, but very cool. I love games like we've mentioned Zelda, we've mentioned this one, we mentioned Resident Evil 4, I think a few others that you can explore after you're done playing it, and that's just very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so this one isn't about that, but big head mode.
Yeah.
And I combined GoldenEye and NBA Jam because when I think of big head mode, those are the two games I think about. Yeah, big head mode and NBA Jam. And a lot of those unlockable things you could do at NBA Jam, like you could play as Bill Clinton. Like, yeah. Can you imagine a game today where you could play as Bill Clinton? That was not gonna get that going. But yeah, you could play as Bill Clinton and I think Al Gore and like a clown. And all sorts of like really, cool things. Like that was such a great, and there were rumors about things. People you could play about that you couldn't. But
I know, like in the prototypes in some early versions, they had like Raiden and Sub-Zero, but the NBA was like, no, you're gonna get those guys out of here. We don't want them in this game.
Can you imagine now? That would have been so cool. I would have been all over that. I want Raiden to say that crazy thing he says when he Supermans, which I'm not going to attempt.
When he goes to slam dunk.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't do it. But it's such a bizarre, wonderful thing.
It's pretty great.
By the way, I love Raiden's eyes in the new movie. I'm glad that they made them glow. Like Raiden's eyes need to glow. I mean, come on.
They do a pretty good job with that, and just the fact that light shoots out of him at one point.
Wait! Shh.
No, it's still just great.
Don't spoil. That was close. Sorry, I didn't mean to shush. I just don't. People get really mad with spoilers.
But it's a cool.
But it does
effect.
look really cool. It looks so cool. I was thinking. I've been trying not to say that like several times tonight because that's in terms of visually that and the. I'll just say. Because you definitely know he's fights, right? So Liu Kang's fight is that one. That area looks so cool and perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
They did a great job with the set design, the VFX design in it.
So good. Logan needs to see it. Jack, you have another one.
Yeah, I got one more.
Yeah.
So my last one, at least that I really enjoyed, Metal Gear Solid. So you beat the game, and at one point you get your bandana. I mean, it's technically Sniper Wolf's bandana, but you get a bandana, and that gives you infinite ammo. And there's something about having infinite ammo in Metal Gear Solid that just makes it that much more fun. Like, I'm definitely somebody that likes to stealth through that game, and I try not to pick fights when I don't have to pick fights, and try to sneak around. choke everybody out, or other versions of the game try to go a pacifist route. But if you just got to run through and mow people down, man, that bandana makes it real easy to do it. And it's a lot of, it makes that gameplay drastically different when you're not having to worry about ammo or being you're just like, whatever, all the alarms can go off, everybody can know where I am, I'm just gonna mow folks down.
Yeah, that's a completely different game.
Yeah,
but still fun.
Oh yeah, just
still fun.
It's not quite the same, and it goes a lot faster when you don't care about whether people know you're there or not.
Yeah, it goes a lot faster. But does love bloom on a battlefield?
Not on that one.
Wait, were you talking about the first one?
Oh wait, no, I take that back. No, you're right. Yeah, nope, it does.
Yeah, it
certainly does.
Because that Weezer Jedi would do this thing at E3, the last few E3s, where he'd go and ask awkward questions to people and film their responses. And he went around. One of them was, "Do you think that love can bloom on the battlefield?" And like the ones that knew it was a reference to Mortal Kombat, it's on the brain, Metal Gear Solid, they laughed and thought it was funny. But the people that didn't know that it was a reference were like, really like, what are you talking about? And he'd just be like, what? Yeah. All right, so we're ready to move on to a few to end the show here with some disappointing unlockables and maybe our debate at the end.
Yes.
All right, so Star Fox 64 Expert Mode, and again, I love Star Fox 64. I'm going to be playing it here again in a month.
Yeah, it's coming out in a month.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. But Expert Mode, you had to beat it on like hard mode and do all sorts of... you had to beat it on hard mode, and it was a pretty difficult thing to get it, and you get to get all the... Yeah. And then you got Expert Mode, which just made like it harder. Like it just doubled the damage, and it wasn't like a creative expert mode. It was just like everything hurt you more, and
yeah, we made your guns weaker and we made their guns more powerful.
Yeah, which is what makes games more fun, right?
No.
Yeah, okay, this is completely off topic. Have you ever played Faxanadu?
I have played it. I have not really gotten any significant progress in it.
So hopefully this isn't super well known and I'm dumb here, but did you know that the pendant that makes you stronger, they accidentally programmed it in so you get it at the start, so the beginning's actually easier, and then when you get the pendant, it actually takes it away. So you actually think you're getting stronger, but you're getting weaker, and a lot of people would get to that point and the game would get like way harder and they didn't know why. And it's because of a programming glitch where you had, because people have found it now that you can look in the code and stuff. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but just like a fascinating thing in a game.
Interesting. I never knew that. Huh.
Okay, I'm glad. I was hoping it wasn't like some super obvious thing, like, oh, everyone knows that,
like Faxanadu, like the game, I always really enjoyed looking at the box art, and then obviously years later, finally got a chance to play it myself, and I was just like, man, this game's kind of
I've kind of had the same reaction to it when I've tried it. I do want to give it another shot at some point, but all right, go ahead and tell me your disappointments.
So I'm gonna go back to Resident Evil, and not just Resident Evil 4, but a lot of the modern Resident Evil games. And I'm just gonna say, I think one of my most disappointing unlockables is the Mercenaries mode. I'm all for a good horde mode, but the Mercenaries is just, I think it's lazy, and I think it's kind of dumb, and like I don't know, man. Like it's not quite what I'm there for Resident Evil 4. Like, give me the story. Some of the fun side content's kind of fun, but the Mercenaries mode just doesn't grab me. And I think in like Resident Evil 5, they even tried to put some more unlockables behind it, like by getting higher scores and higher grades. But for whatever reason, just the Mercenaries mode, I just think should just go away. And I think that's something they're going to do. I mean, that Leon Must Die mode is kind of like Mercenaries mode, but it's a little bit more than that. So I'm glad they didn't just call it Mercenaries. But, it's just one of those things that just kind of doesn't really doesn't really do it for me. And unless the one caveat to that I'll say is that when you get to play some of the boss characters, like I think some of them you get to play as Wesker, you get to play as one of the bad guys. That's kind of a cool little just change of pace, but that's about it.
Yep. I feel you. For sure. I'm going to do something I've never done before. It's not on my list. I'm going to say something bad about Final Fantasy VII. Ooh. Okay. So Ruby and Emerald weapon.
Yes.
You have to. I mean, they're like impossible to beat. And you want to get like Knights of the Round to beat them. And you get a gold chocobo, which you need to get a gold chocobo before it to get Knights of the Round anyway. And like the other thing, I can't even remember the other thing that you get from the other one. I mean, the thing that you get is that you get to brag that you beat impossibly difficult bosses. But like it's so anticlimactic to do that. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. I will go on record as that's the one of the things I don't like about Final Fantasy VII.
Breaks position. It's dumb.
There. Not the whole game. Not the whole. That's blasphemy. Blasphemy. The froth will come from the sky. All right, Jack. What's your next one?
So my next one, we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but extra costumes. Like, it doesn't matter what game it is. Extra costumes after beating a game. Like, there's the rare exception, like things like throwback costumes, like Resident Evil, or I'm trying to think of another good example. Like some of the control stuff, like when you beat the game, it's kind of fun. But like for the most part, extra costumes just. It's cool, like, but at the same time, like, do I want to play through this game again just to watch this character in this new costume? Not really. but thanks. And maybe if I play this game again, I'll use it.
They really like to play dress up. Nice. Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. Like we talked about before, I agree with that. All right, so let's end it here with our little debate, which I think is a good one.
Yeah.
Is it wrong to expect unlockables or post-game content in single-player games? Jack, what do you think?
I mean, from my standpoint, I think it all depends on what the scope of the game is and what the expectation is. Like, let's say something like Pragmata, which came out a little bit ago. Like, the game's $60. It's not a full 70. It's $60. So... it's not quite a full game, and it's about 10 to 12 hours long, so it's a little bit shorter than Resident Evil Requiem. At the same time, it's got a new game plus mode. It's got a few other little things in there too. But like I heard just a lot of chatter online about people saying how short it was and how they were really disappointed with what kind of post game support it had or post game content it has. Like, well, I mean, look, guys, what are you really hoping for here? Like, do you want them to just cram in like a mode like Mercenaries and just like have them throw that in there just because you just want more combat scenarios? Or would you rather them actually take some time and build something into it, either for a sequel or just do some DLC where it's not really unlockable content, but it's something where you'd have to pay for it after the fact? I think it's a double-edged sword. Like, it's always nice to have something there, and it's always nice to have something there once you beat the game, especially in a single-player game. If you're done with it, it's nice to have something a good reason to come back to it. But I think if they're gonna do it, they've either gotta have a lot of fun with it and be like, oh, we could really like totally break this game and do something fun here, or B, it's gotta be some riff on what is happening in the game. So whether that's like a power fantasy, like a power dynamic change, or whether that's, like I said, like with the Resident Evil New Game Plus or any game's New Game Plus, it's that's kind of where I stand on that. I think it has to be meaningful. Otherwise, it's not worth it, and players shouldn't expect it.
Yeah. No, I think I'm on there with you. I've always loved Tycho's phrase that you don't judge a meal by how long it takes you to eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm totally about quality over quantity. If a game is amazing and I love it and it's short, great. Mm-hmm. If a game is terrible and it's long, who cares? Right? Or, it's obviously not usually those extremes, but my thing in general is like, if a game is good, I do not care. I get that people want value and you pay, lots of money and you want to have a lot of hours of fun and all that. And like, I do understand that argument. I'm not trying to discount it, but just from my point of view, I want them to make the best game that they can make. And I don't want them to worry how long it's going to take a player to get through it, because then you get stupid stuff thrown in. Like, I hate, this isn't post-game content, but I hate when you get to a part in a game and it's like just obvious it's there to prolong the game, and it's not really like the Triforce Peace Hunt and Wind Waker, which is an otherwise fantastic game. Like, obviously they're just to make it longer.
Those kind of things. What I'm in right now, Final Fantasy V, like the last dungeon sequence is basically like a boss rush mode, and I just want to just claw my eyes out. So like, this game could have been done like 10 hours ago. Let's not just keep doing this.
Yeah, and I do not like that at all. So bringing it back to post-game content and Unlockable for a second. I love the Unlockables as we've gone through. Some of them are really fun and really cool. But if it in any way takes away from the quality of the game, or it's just thrown in, and I wouldn't mess with it anyway. Who cares? I would say Smash Brothers Unlockables are kind of a part of the game because it's like part of the game to unlock them. So I would say that's probably something you can expect in those games. But Daria, what do you think?
I think, like, honestly, for me, I think that Unlockables and post-game content is fun. Most of the post-game content, like DLCs or New Game Plus stuff, like, I really do enjoy. But I would, like, kind of like what you said, like, I would rather them focus on, like, if they had to choose, focus on, like sequels, or, like, if they weren't doing, like, instead of, like, Unlockables, like, doing post-game content, or just something that, like, doesn't necessarily, like, detract from the experience of the story that you're feeling, like, like you're going through. Because most of the stuff that I play is, like, single player, like, story, a lot of story games. And so, like, I like just for Horizon, the DLCs for me is like, it's a new map. It's something that, like, is still within the world, and it's just slightly expanding it little bit by little bit. And, like, I appreciate, like, the opportunity to, like, continue to explore and be immersed in this, like, experience. So
yeah, that seems reasonable. Well, I like it. I think we're all pretty similar stances. So with that said, Jack, what are you gonna be doing this evening?
Oh man, well, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna try Forza Horizon 6 this weekend. I am still gonna try to beat Final Fantasy V. I was correct in my prediction last week. I was not going to beat Final Fantasy V. There is a lot of lead up to the final battle. I'm trying to hit level 50 with all my characters. I'm like 48 with everybody, so I think I've got to grind. But I need to find if I can actually get to a village again before I have to go fight the final bosses in the game. So we'll see. But getting closer, and it's still a lot of fun. Like the battle music, especially the boss battle music, still fantastic. It's kind of the main thing keeping me going through this.
Sweet. Awesome. It makes me want to play it again. Actually, I picked up the Pixel remaster of it because I didn't have 5. So I probably will go through it at some point pretty soon. Yeah. And Daria.
I am going to go watch the rest of The Boys, final episode.
You've been thinking about it the whole episode.
Did you get a chance to play more Alan Wake 2 this week?
No, I did not.
Oh,
no, okay. I did not. Yes, there were a couple like I've been working on rebuilding my website, so
Gotcha.
that's where most of my focus has been on working on that.
No worries.
Awesome.
But I do want to get back to it.
Still itching to talk to somebody else about that game.
Soon. Someday soon. Well, I'm going to be probably playing more of my NES because it's been so much fun to play Olga and probably Forza. Actually, I want to try out Forza now that it's downloaded and ready to go. Oh, I picked up Marvel Cosmic Invasion because it's on Steam sale as well. And that game is tight. That is great.
And they've got what, Cyclops and the Thing coming soon?
Yep, it's out.
Oh, is it out now?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, they dropped it. So you have to pay for it though.
Yeah. I will say for NES games, there are again, Jeff Gerstmann has been playing through every single NES game. He's got like 16 left. He's almost done. He's almost played all 760 some odd games that were released in the United States. And the only ones, like the significant ones he hasn't done, are like Mega Man 6 and Super Mario Brothers 3. And there's a handful of other ones, but those are like the two significant ones he hasn't done yet. I will say there are some really cool games that I did not know existed on the NES. Some were unlicensed. One that he had on the other day was it's a licensed Dungeons and Dragons game where you play as a dragon. It's kind of like, think of it as Xevious but with a dragon.
Oh, cool!
And it's interesting. It's way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah. No, I'm finding I'm finding some games that I had never played that are interesting on the EverDrive. One I really liked recently was Kickmaster. You ever play Kickmaster?
Yeah, Kickmaster's great.
Kickmaster's amazing. Like it's so good. And the bosses, like the designs of the bosses are like ridiculously awesome. That developer is Kid, I think, who did the G.I. Joe game, and like they did like a Trolls game. They did like a lot of games that have really awesome graphics.
Huh. But yeah, Kickmaster's the demo of kicks or whatever is at the beginning is just, I think that's my favorite thing in the game. Just where they show you like, here's all the kicks you can do. I mean, this is awesome. Yeah,
no, it's been really fun to try some games that I've never played before, and some of them are very, very cool. So, and listening to the fun audio chips. But,
and don't sleep on Little Samson.
Oh, I beat that.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so good. That game is so good. It's so sad that it wasn't. I'd go back in time and buy several of them so I could sell them because they're very rare now.
Very rare.
But yeah, that game is awesome. I love Little Samson. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the game show, and we'll see you same time next week.